Councillor Francis, before I move to debate, do you have any further comments to add?
It's very hard, but nowadays councillors don't have the amendment in front of them. Do you want me to read it again?
I'm pretty sure all the members heard your amendment previously, so I think that's absolutely fine. If you have no further comment, I will now ask members if they wish to speak on this amendment put forward by Councillor Francis. Okay, thank you, Councillor Lloyd.
First of all, I see Councillor Hughes has made a point of order comment. Should we deal with that first?
Yes, Councillor Hughes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A point of order. I look at the amendment proposed by Councillor Francis, but I have a feeling she's referring to the standing order that is in the current constitution and not the revised new constitution that we are debating this evening. Therefore, are we at contradictory purposes this evening?
Thank you, Councillor Hughes. I'll defer this question to our monitoring officer, if I may.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I will just direct members to the present proposed constitution that is contained in the papers, and in particular, may I direct members to Standing Order 57, which, as I understand it, is the standing order that Councillor Francis is referring to. Is that of assistance for members, Mayor?
That is correct.
I think Councillor Hughes, is that of assistance?
I'm sorry to labour the point, Mr. Mayor, and thank you to the Monitoring Officer. The point I'm trying to make is Councillor Francis is raising an amendment to our current standing order, but we are about to debate the adoption of a new constitution. So therefore, it's a moot point as to whether there's any relevance to Councillor Francis' amendment.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Hughes. Mr. Tui, was there anything to add to Councillor Hughes' comments?
I do understand Councillor Hughes' point that he's raising, Mr. Mayor, but perhaps you might want to get clarification from Councillor Francis as the mover of the amendment. As I am, I don't want to make an assumption, but I assume she is referring to the new proposed draft.
Yes.
Yes, we have clarification. Councillor Francis, sorry, was that a yes there?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Councillor Francis. So yes, Mr. Tui, that was a yes from Councillor Francis.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I think on that basis, members should feel able to continue with their debate on the amendment.
Councillor Lloyd.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I have heard Councillor Francis' amendment, and in my head, I think it's in two parts. One is being excluded from a meeting, and one is about having access to papers, I think. But my overriding feeling about this stems from personal experience back in October, when I wanted to be in a meeting and joined, and then because it went into exempt session, I was locked out too. Now, had that been physical in the council offices, I believe it may have been opportune for the monitoring officer or the chair of that meeting to allow me to stay. I'm not sure under what legal terms, etc. But obviously that didn't happen when it was virtual. And we are very good at replicating the physical with the virtual, I believe. I believe we've dealt with that, mainly due to our technicians and our democratic services personnel. Now, that for me is quite important, because we're always being encouraged to join cabinet, especially. But if you do, as I did, and then you're locked out, one doesn't feel very good about it. And if that is what Councillor Francis' amendment is seeking to achieve, that councillors who are attending a meeting and then there's an exempt session where the press and public are asked to leave, that councillors are not automatically asked to leave too, I would like to support the amendment, but I'm not quite clear where we are with it. I'm not sure if anyone can help me out on this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Councillor Lloyd. Councillor Francis, could you just please clarify that for Councillor Lloyd before we move to Councillor Satchwell's question?
Yes, absolutely. The idea is that unless the matter is very difficult, the councillor may stay, and that's when the cabinet move that the press and the public leave. But if there is a very difficult matter indeed that might incur legal penalties or any of the rest of it, then in that case, the cabinet can vote for the press, the public and councillors to leave. And in that case, anything that's really difficult can be kept safe. But it would be a shame to lose the openness that has reigned in the council until now. Is that any clearer?
Thank you very much, Councillor Francis. Councillor Lloyd, did that clear things up?
Yes, it does. That's very clear, and I think I'm grateful to Councillor Francis. And yes, I would support the amendment on the basis of what she's just clarified. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Lloyd. We move to Councillor Satchwell for the debate.
Thank you very much. I have some sympathy with the amendment. However, I feel that it requires some more thought. One of the things about the new constitution is the introduction of a standards committee. And I believe that this would be a good topic of discussion where we could not only look at, rather than two options, including it or not including it, what are our other options and what would work best. I think we need to have certain rules for our protection, but we also need to have the openness that has been suggested. So for me, I have sympathy for this style of inclusion, but unfortunately I can't support the motion.